Cool. This is my first time using a clicker, so this should be fun. How's everyone doing today, tonight? Everyone's doing well? Yep. Cool. Well, I'm happy to be here. It's such a pleasure. So my name's Ethan. I run a nonprofit. I'm the founder and CEO. Our nonprofit is called the College Prep Project. So I want to start with this simple question. What change do you want to see in the world? I think when you guys are starting to think about creating a company, I think a lot of people start with the wrong mindset, and just the wrong frame of mind. Maybe you're thinking about how can I make the most money, or maybe you took the e-design class here and you created a product, and you thought it was really cool and you want to bring it to market. But I want you guys to think about how can you flip that whole concept on its head. How can you ask a slightly different question? And that question is, what change do you want to see in the world? What are the needs out there? What do I want to solve? How can I fix it? That's kind of the beginning of my story. So I just wanted to tell a little bit about myself, to paint a little picture of kind of what brings me here today. So, first of all, my name is Ethan Libros. I'm a psychology and English major here. It's actually my last semester here, sadly. I'll be studying abroad next semester. So the story begins for me right over there. So that's me. That's my older sister and older brother. And I actually grew up homeschooled until I was in 6th grade. So I don't know if you guys know too many homeschoolers out there. But we did a bunch of crazy random things. So at one point we were doing Shakespeare performances, so that's me on the far right doing that. We were donating flowers, picking flowers. We were in the middle picture there. I found a picture of us creating the solar system model out of candy. So the reason I have this up here is because the homeschooling experience for me really shaped who I am and had a really profound impact on how I see education today. Okay, but I want to pause here real fast to mention that none of what we've accomplished is my doing only. I come with a bunch of different people by my side who've helped me. So the saying, it takes a village to raise a child, is definitely true in my case. Okay, so I wanted to start. So after I was homeschooled, I ended up in high school, and like most of you in the room, I went to a public high school, and navigating that whole process was very tricky for me, especially because I was homeschooled, but also because my 2 older siblings had dropped out of high school. So by the time I was looking to apply to colleges, I didn't really have that support structure in place. I didn't really know who to ask for advice. And then I went to a public school, so my guidance counselor wasn't very accessible. So it was hard to pin him down and ask him a question. But I ended up working up the courage to go down to his office, and I said, I really need help with this. Do you know any college students who can help? Do you know anyone who maybe went to our high school? And he pretty much just looked me straight in the eyes and said, I'm sorry, but we really can't help you. We don't know anyone at the schools you're interested in. So back to that original question I posed for you all, that's a situation that frustrated me and something I wanted to solve. Okay, so flash forward to summer of 2019. I spent a month in India, and this is a picture I took of, we were living in a guest house, and these were some of the school children who were living next to us. And what I noticed in India was that there were widespread disparities in access to education. So if you look at the child literacy rate in India, in 2011, it was 82% for girls, or for boys, and 65% for girls. And I think this quote, this African proverb really resonated with me. And it says, if you educate a man, you educate an individual, but if you educate a woman, you educate a nation. facts that kind of bring this closer to home. Because what I realized is that there weren't disparities just in India, there were also disparities here, right here in the US. So, across all schools, the average student to counselor ratio is 470 students to 1, which is nearly the double recommended ratio. In 2019, 69% of white high school graduates went on to college, but just 57% of black graduates. 78% of students who come from the highest income quartile go on to college, while it's just 46% from the lowest income quartile. And this is just a graph that really illustrates what's going on here. So if you look at the y-axis, it's the percentage enrolled in college, and then it does a really nice job tracking the income range of the students. So it's pretty clear to see, but the blue is the high income, green is middle income, and orange is low income. So the trend is pretty clear. Students who come from high income backgrounds are much more likely to enroll in college, and other graphs also show that they're much more likely to succeed as well. Okay, so Tom's Shoes, I don't know if you've all have heard of this model and this company. So basically the whole idea behind Tom's Shoes is that basically they launched the concept in 2006, I believe, and it made them massively successful. And that concept was, for every pair of shoes that we have, we're going to donate a pair for free to a child in need. So while the model has some flaws, the whole concept really resonated with me. Because as a consumer, I think it's really profound and powerful to know that for everything I'm going to buy, that my money is going to a good place. So, what if we could apply, this was the thought that came to my mind, what if we could apply an idea from the fashion industry, which has been replicated in other types of products too, besides Tom's Shoes, what if we could bring that to the education sector? And that's exactly what we've done with the College Prep Project. So for every one student we help one low-income or underserved student, and we do that by partnering with Title I schools, which are schools in low-income areas, and we work directly with their guidance counselors to help identify students who are in need of our help. So our process, you're probably wondering what is it that you actually do? So our process is pretty simple. First of all, we find successful college students, we train them as mentors, and then we find high school students in need of help, and we pair the two up. So what do our mentors do exactly? So everything works remotely, which has really benefited us because we're able to reach students who might otherwise not have access to the resources. Because there's not just disparities here in Pennsylvania and in New Jersey, the disparities are across the United States. So our mentors help the high schoolers locate the right colleges, apply for scholarships, review college application essays. These are just some of the many options. Okay, so what separates us? First of all, let me talk about the market right now, because I know there's maybe some finance people in the room, and I actually had to look this statistic up for myself. But pretty much the education consulting industry is valued at $2.2 billion, and the average private college consultant is charging about $200 an hour, which is pretty crazy. But what separates us is that our mentors are college students with fresh experience. We're literally in it. We've just gone through the college application process. Secondly, we are well connected. It's not just that we know our high schools, and we know a lot of high schools, but we also are well connected to other college students. I'm sure all of you know a bunch of college students at different campuses. And thirdly, we believe we have a sustainable business model. And the reason for that is because we're a nonprofit, I think it's really easy to become dependent on grant funding. But what we do differently is that because we have a stream of revenue coming in from high-income families and we're able to redistribute that, that allows for a much more sustainable business model. Okay, so I wanted to track our growth really fast just to give you an idea of where we're at. So in August of 2020, we were given the 501c3 status from the IRS, and I'm not sure if you all are familiar, but that process takes about 3 to 6 months. In September, we were featured on ABC 13 News. In November, we began the 15-week-long Happy Valley Launchbox program, which was a really great experience for us. In December of 2020, we were awarded a $120,000 grant from Google for advertising. And those are all accolades, and I'm not so impressed with accolades, especially since we're a socially driven company. I think what's much more impressive is the impact we're having. And I think it's easy to look at these numbers and say, okay, only 30 students, but if you talk to the students we've helped, you'll see that we've had an impact. So it's not necessarily the quantity, it's really the quality of the mentorship that matters. So we partner with multiple high schools. We've mentored over 30 students one-on-one through Zoom across the country. We've helped students raise over $25,000 in scholarships. We've supported over 500 parents through an online newsletter that we send out. And we've hosted free webinars and Q&A events at multiple high schools. Okay, so we have really big goals for the future. Number one, we're hoping to work with 250 students within the next year. We want to expand our mentor network so we have a college student at each campus representing us. And we want to partner with more Title I schools. Okay, so we'd love to get everyone involved. If this is something that resonates with you, if you think this is a cool idea, there's a QR code, so feel free to pull out your phones if you want to scan that, if you're interested in getting involved. We also have different social media, so we're on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Cool, but thank you for your time. We look forward to working with you to help level the playing field and make college more accessible. So thank you very much. Does anyone have any questions for me? Don't be shy. Any questions? Yes, what is your name? Aiden. What's up?
So as you're growing, looking for a new mentor, what's your strategy like?
That's a very good question. So pretty much we're looking for students who are involved on campus, who we review their resumes, so we're looking for students that have good GPAs and students that are really interested in what we do. And then we have a training program that they go through, and if they make it through, they're pretty well suited to work with us. I hope that answered your question. Yeah, what's your name again?
Nico.
Nico, what's up?
You said that a way that you, I guess, sustain your business model, that you get donations from families. How do you necessarily get those donations? How do you expand your cash flow coming in?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So we charge a fee for those families who we work with, and so to work with us for 5 sessions, there's a flat rate, and we're also willing to work with students one-on-one, just one at a time. But that's basically how we get revenue from that, and then we supplement the revenue through applying through grants, and then individual donations. Does that answer the question? Yeah, cool. Yeah.
Yeah, so...
Aiden, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
So you said the next year your goal is to get to 250 students. And as you shared, you got a pretty considerable grant from Google, I guess, for the purpose of marketing. So what's your strategy of growing your customers?
Yeah, that's a good question. So growing our market base. Yeah, so I think we just have to basically utilize that grant funding more. That's specifically for advertising, so we have to do more of that. What I really want to do within the next couple of months is partnering with more Title I schools, building those relationships, and I think things will quickly flow and spread through word of mouth even more. Yeah, but that's pretty much. It's just partnering with more schools, getting our name out there, and it's a slow process, but I think that will work. Yeah, what's your name?
So just going off of that question, what kind of incentive are there for people to be mentors?
That's a good question. So we work with Happy Valley Launchbox. Have you guys all heard of Happy Valley Launchbox? Yeah. So we did their accelerator program. That was a question that we got asked a lot, and we also did market research to try to address that question. So we went out and we asked college students what they'd like, whether or not it's to be paid or not to be paid. And we've kind of gotten mixed responses. So at the moment, everyone's just joining based on like a volunteer basis. But we're looking to expand that and trying to maybe work with more universities to do like a work-study program. Because I know, a lot of students are wanting to get paid for this too. So we're trying to work with both types of people, because some people just want the volunteer hours, but other people really need to support themselves through school. Yeah.
How are you going to Brad? How are you going about connecting mentors and mentees? Is it an intentional pairing with shared experiences and backgrounds, or is it random?
Yeah, we're trying to finalize that a little bit more, because it would be nice. The end goal, which we've kind of prototyped a lot, is being able to go onto a website, being able to answer a couple questions, like these are some of the universities I'm interested in, these are some of the things I want to study, this is who I am, and then it shoots out maybe like 3 mentors, and then they can pick to call one of them. So we're trying to finalize that. At the moment, it's kind of just random, like who's available, and just matching them up that way, but we do want to finalize it, to automate it a little bit more too.
Awesome. I think that's it.
Cool, thank you very much.